White supremacy is not Christianity. It never was Christianity, and it will never be Christianity. In fact, if you actually read the gospel instead of using it like a political prop, you realize something uncomfortable very quickly. White supremacy isn't just unchristian, it's the exact opposite message of Christ, because the entire story of Jesus Christ begins with God doing something radical. He didn't show up in Rome. He didn't show up in Athens. He didn't show up in the palaces of European kings. God entered the world as a brown, Middle Eastern Jewish man under imperial occupation. That alone should tell you something. The Son of God didn't come through the powerful. He came through the colonized. And then he spent the next 3 years doing something that would make every racial supremacist lose their mind. He crossed every line society built. He spoke to Samaritans when his own people hated them. He healed Romans when Romans were occupying the land. He praised the faith of foreigners. He told a story about the *** Good Samaritan, where the hero isn't the religious elite. The hero is the ethnic outsider everyone despised. Do you see the pattern? Jesus was dismantling tribal supremacy 2,000 years ago, and the early church understood it perfectly. When Paul the Apostle wrote to the early believers, he dropped a line that shattered the ancient world. There's neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, for you are all one in Christ. In other words, your bloodline doesn't save you. Your tribe doesn't save you. Your nationality doesn't save you. Your race doesn't save you. The gospel destroyed the idea that one group of humans sits closer to God than another. That was the revolution. That was the miracle. Christianity took a world built on hierarchy, empire, tribe, bloodline, and said, no, all of you stand equal before God. Every tribe, every language, every nation. That's why the book of Revelation describes heaven as a gathering of humanity from everywhere, not one race sitting on a throne above the rest. Now here's where white supremacy exposes itself, because white supremacy teaches something completely different. It says your worth comes from bloodline. It says one race stands higher. It says some people were made to rule. That's not the gospel. That's ancient tribal paganism dressed up in church clothes. And the irony is almost unbelievable. The same ideology claiming to defend. Christianity is worshiping a hierarchy that Christ spent his entire ministry destroying. But think about it. Jesus washed the feet of his disciples. He touched lepers. He defended prostitutes. He protected foreigners. He stood with the poor. He was executed by an empire. And somehow people turned that man into the mascot of racial dominance. How? The only way that works is if you replace the real Christ with a counterfeit one. A Christ who looks like empire. A Christ who protects hierarchy. A Christ who serves power. But that isn't the Christ of the Gospels. That's a political idol. Because the real Jesus didn't come to build racial empires. He came to build a kingdom that erased them. A kingdom where the last become first. Where the oppressed are lifted. Where every human being carries the same sacred value. So when someone claims white supremacy and Christianity in the same breath, they are holding two ideas that cannot live in the same house. One says humanity is divided by race. The other says humanity is united under God. One worships bloodline. The other worships truth. One builds hierarchy. The other builds redemption. And the man at the center of Christianity made his position very clear. Love your neighbor, not just the ones who look like you, not just the ones who vote like you, not just the ones who worship like you. Your neighbor, period. So if someone tells you white supremacy represents Christian values, they didn't misunderstand the gospel. They reversed it because the message of Christ is simple. Before God, there is no superior race. There's only humanity.